Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Now, today I feel guided to start with a new moon message since we have that coming up on the 12th. It's not till about 6 in the evening tomorrow, but I just feel like today, starting off the week, would be an absolute great day to start with prepping for that energy and, just set the week off right. So, of course, with all new moon, full moon energy messages, I'll timestamp the message, I'll timestamp the reading so you can fast forward or rewind as you feel guided to. But first and foremost, I hope you're doing well and thank you for being here. All right, so without further ado, let's get into this new moon in Sagittarius. That's going to be on December 12th. 2023 at again around 6:32 p.m. Eastern Time. This moon is called the cold moon, ironically, right, given it's in a fire sign. But it's heavy on the ninth house vibes with this one. And that energy typically governs the higher mind, personal beliefs, philosophy, and religion. It can also involve standards set by society, i.e., ethics, morals, and laws. Pretty much anything that expands your mind to help you see your place in the universe can be a highlight for this transit. With all the cleansing and clearing that's been happening, both consciously and subconsciously, this new moon, ruled by Jupiter, can support a bright, enlightened perspective of the big picture of your life's journey to date, with an optimistic approach to any shifts or changes that revelation may inspire. There may also be an infusion of ambition or energy, enthusiasm or drive for the next leg of this journey, whatever that may be. With Mars in conjunction to Sagittarius, you'll want to take action. You'll be incited to take action, but be mindful of burnout, as any fire sign can attest to, particularly throughout this season, which is already prone to be energetically intense. Given the transits in alignment and opposition, i.e., Mercury retro in Taurus and Neptune now direct in Pisces, it may actually be wise to give your human being plenty of grace to bring a final closure to what has been a very extensive healing cycle, not just this past year, but perhaps even for the past decade or so. The new moon, with all of its enlightenment, is bringing new meaning to all that has been, all that is, so that a fresh perspective can help you form a brand new philosophy of sorts for your life moving forward. Even in the midst of a new moon, invitations and opportunities for release of people, places, and things out of alignment with your latest self-discoveries may arise. Thankfully, though, if you so choose to harness it, you'll have firepower in your arsenal to finish this transit and the year off strong. Certainly, be encouraged to get a head start on your new year, new you vibes. However, with temperance for any energetic, emotional, or physical resistance to your ambitions. When any or all actions fail, channel your enthusiasm into the plan of action itself, which, if you're particularly fiery, is a challenge indeed. But it is a power move in itself, no doubt. There's no better time than the present to get a vision board started, focus on a few goals to complete by the end of the year, and write and recite some highly positive affirmations to keep your outlook bright and your spirit light, ripe for manifestation. Most importantly, enjoy yourself through this transit for the rest of this holiday season and the year, safely, of course. Beyond 2023, nothing will ever be the same, including and especially you. And for all that that's worth, there is certainly cause for celebration. So cheers to a new you, new life, which is a universal present, an actual gift of all to all. All right. So that is the new moon in Sagittarius message, again happening tomorrow around 6:32 p.m. Eastern Time. Prepare your hearts and minds accordingly. Okay? Okay. Now, this is going to be the new moon in Sagittarius reading. Okay? So let's see. Well, I'm gonna cut it a bit. I did cut it, but I know you didn't see it. So I'm gonna go ahead. And you know what? I do have something to say. Today in meditation, and it was so persistent that I know I need to say it. Today when I was in meditation, and I wasn't even in meditation long, but I kept hearing fireworks, right? But not just the word fireworks. What I was also hearing is when I heard the word fireworks and it kept coming up, I kept hearing. It's hard to say. It's like I wasn't here. It's interesting because I wasn't hearing the song by Drake, but that's what my spirit was connecting to. It's like I wasn't hearing the music, but I was hearing when I heard fireworks, I thought of the Drake song. But interestingly enough, when I was hearing Drake fireworks and Drake's song was coming up, the song, the actual music that I was hearing was Light Up, also by Drake featuring Jay-Z. Two different songs, and it was such a mashup that I kind of almost mistook the Light Up song for fireworks because it blended together so well, because it's like fireworks, but I'm hearing Light Up. You know, who would have thought I'd be caught in this life? Let's celebrate with a toast and get lost in the night and make it all light up. Wait until the sun goes down, we gon' make this bitch light up. I can't get down that low. Even when the sun goes down, I'ma make it go. I guess he means go up. I don't know. I never knew what the end of that line was supposed to mean. But anyway, so I was hearing that, but fireworks was coming up. Also, interestingly enough, just this past weekend, which, by the way, thank you to all for the birthday wishes, gifts, prayers, positive energy sent my way. I appreciate you all so very much. Even tuning into the reading I did that day. If you didn't, definitely check it out because I think it was a powerful message, which was Saturday, December 9th. So thank you all so very much again. And again, blessings and grace received and returned 1,000-fold, okay? But Saturday, which I thought was perfectly fitting for the best day of the year, quite honestly, there was just random fireworks that evening. And my son heard it first. And he was like, Mom, you hear those fireworks? But I didn't hear it. And then a little bit later on, I did hear them. And he even jokingly said, well, I don't know if they really fireworks or gunshots, but it was fireworks. Unfortunately, I do know the difference. Well, I guess fortunately and unfortunately. But sorry to say, he does not. You know, he's even exposed to it at all to know that there can be a difference, right? But so there was fireworks, and it's kind of a random time in December. It was cold, and it was just weird. You know what I mean? So there's that correlation there. So I don't know what that means particularly, but I will say that the Eight of Wands has been coming up, and if there's any expression of fireworks in a positive sense, I would say the Eight of Wands is that card. It's come up a couple of times throughout the past week, and I think it even popped up. Did it pop up Saturday? If not Saturday, definitely Friday, which is just kind of like explosive energy in the realm, unexpected communication, opportunities, energy, upgrades, everything of the sort that you can consider, I would say, in a positive vibration is what I connect to most with the Eight of Wands, but something that kind of is sudden and maybe even surprising. And the correlation between the fireworks song and Light Up is because what's Drake talking about but him almost being a firework? He's gonna make this bitch light up. And so whatever is coming through is going to be exactly what's needed and what's necessary to illuminate you, again, whether that be information, advancement, opportunity, ambition, inspiration, enthusiasm, actual messages. It could be a number of things, and particularly related to the new moon in Sagittarius and the new moon message. It comes with such a force, say with even Mars, the Mars conjunction, that it's like double firepower, you know what I mean? And then we got Pisces and Neptune. Neptune's now direct, Neptune and Pisces, I'm sorry, and Neptune's now direct, which is kind of dissipating any haze. Like, consider if it's cloudy, or, well, particularly if it's rainy, which it was all day yesterday, you can't really light fireworks. It doesn't work. But that dissipation is kind of from Pisces, being from Neptune being retrograde, has kind of is gone now. So you're having a new perspective, perhaps even fresh, altogether new, of not only who you've been or what your life's journey has been up until this point, but now a fresh perspective on a philosophy for your life moving forward, which could be a drastic change from where you were just yesterday or last week, or it could just be an upgrade of sorts. And with that, of course, the enthusiasm with that fire energy, an empowering to want to forge ahead in a new way. But as I said in the moon message, just be mindful of burning out, pace yourself, be tempered with your ambitions, especially if you're already fiery like me, or even airy, because those two energies kind of play off of each other to some degree and can kind of like spar out of control if you're not balanced enough or grounded enough. There's still some things we're clearing out, but there's certainly so much that we're receiving at the same time. And if it's nothing but clarity alone for who you are and how you get to move forward, receive that with grace and gratitude, and let that drive and ambition be filtered in productive means, product, and like prosperous, I should say, means of productivity. If for some reason you're still feeling a bit of a resistance to move ahead in one way, shape, or another, have no fear. Don't get frustrated. Don't, get that itch to want to close up, to get crazy closing things up for the end of this year, as we kind of get excited to do, wanting to really bring closure to everything so we can start off that new year, new you type of energy. Receive all of this energetic force and kind of store it up. Certainly go ahead and be ambitious, close up a few things, but don't overexert yourself. Maybe focus on a few sprinkles of things that you can bring to a close, and keep your heart and your mind open to anything. Anything else is just like added value, but don't put too much on yourself, more than you can actually bear, to close out in these next couple of weeks amidst all of the holiday energetic intensity and hustle and bustle that we already face naturally. Not to mention the fact that Mercury is going in retrograde the day after the new moon. So I'll talk about that a little bit later, maybe tomorrow, but probably on the actual 13th, because it's not really much you can do to prepare for that, but just kind of be with the flow, quite honestly, and just know the transit that you're working with. So so I'm just saying all that to say is that you finna light some shit up one way or another, whether it be your Christmas tree, the decorations in your house or outside your house, or any environment or Christmas party. And to that point, as I did back during the Halloween and Thanksgiving season, give just, a cautionary word to wherever you're going to share your energy, to be a gift, to be a light. Know that you're shining with a different vibrancy from the inside out that is most certainly recognizable and undeniable from the outside in as well. You may not realize that you like Rudolph running around here in these streets, standing out from crowds that are used to you kind of being a little bit subdued a certain type of way, but the energetic force that's coming through this realm is going to perhaps create a firework exhibition within you that's going to project itself from the outside. It could even come out in the things that you say, or just how you move, or it's just not something that can be contained. As I said, the Eight of Wands card is. You can't put it in the box any more than you can expect to light a firework in the box and for it not to bust through and explode into the atmosphere. So just be mindful of a different beam of light that may be shining from your eyes, from the words that you use, from how you're carrying yourself, even your aesthetic expression, like just dressing and looking better. Thanks to the fire sign energy, we can definitely count on that. Thanks to Mars, there's a different projection of independence and vitality that is very much so unapologetic, but still all the while more of more caution to the intention of being tempered, not just with what you're experiencing on the inside, but that other people are experiencing you differently on the outside, as well as having their own external experience of themselves as well. Okay, so with all that being said, be mindful where you're going, where you're spending your holidays, who you're inviting in your home, what parties you're attending. If it don't feel right, take flight. You know, if it's not feeling good, leave the hood and all of that, right? Look at that Sun card, exact. Now, come on, somebody. Now, not only did you hit me with the freaking Sun, this is the most, not only did you hit me with Leo energy, this is the Sun card, which is the most vibrant energy in the deck. Okay, like this is how you beaming out here in these streets. All right, you making it light up. And this is a child on this card because it's like, to some degree, you are conscious of the changes that are happening within you. A lot of it you've called in, and with Sagittarius being the prominent energy through this transit, you're actually privy to, you see. That's the mantra of Sagittarius is I see. So not only are you seeing your surroundings in a more enlightened perspective, you're actually seeing yourself as well. But still, there's a bit of an innocence to the projection, like the magnitude of that projection, as I said. So this is like perfect of how much you may be beaming from the outside in and the inside out. You know what I mean? It's like the sun having to put on shades. Now, yesterday it was completely gloomy and rainy, literally from sun up to sundown. Today it's quite bright, quite vibrant, and it's still a bit cold where I am, but the sun definitely makes all the difference, right? It changes the entire atmosphere and even your mood to some degree. Just know that some people are happy to see the sun and excited, and some people rather throw shade. You know what I mean? Literally throw their shades on, put their hat on, or go inside or get away from it altogether as the sun just starts shining brightly in this very moment. So this is you, all innocent, in some ways, not completely, what's the right word? Like, not vulnerable, but naive. Not completely naive to what's what, but I just don't think you're aware of how much, how great. It's like you can see you, but you, and probably still to some degree, don't even really see you completely the way that the spirit sees you, as a matter of fact. But I don't know if you see how other people see you or how they are experiencing you. And really, that's not your problem, because just like the sun needs no permission to shine, neither do you. So throughout the rest of this transit, this holiday season, the only checks and balances necessary are between you and your supreme self, as I said, to just make sure you're tempering your enthusiasm and your ambitions so that you don't burn this bright energy out before it truly gets to be productive, because this is the most productive and prosperous card in the deck. And you're going to need that vitality to get you through the stretch of the rest of this year where we're in retrograde, or we got some other transits that are in conflict or opposition to some degree. And it's just the winter. So who doesn't need a pocket of sunshine to care? Well, it's almost the winter, not officially yet, but it certainly feels like it in temperature, right? You need that pocket of sunshine, to keep stowed away for perhaps any, as I said, emotional challenges that may arise or present themselves to be challenges. Like I said, there's still some invitation and opportunities for those final releases of energetic residue of sorts by way of people, places, and things. Some of it you may not even fully recognize or get to react and respond to until you're in environments such as holiday parties and celebrating certain festivities and sorts of being around people in more intimate settings than maybe you usually are day to day. It'll be illuminating for you to see perhaps how you've changed. Maybe your tolerance has changed, or your perspective or desire to be within those spaces, or even doing those things, or with those people, whatever the shift may be. Sometimes the confrontation or the discovery of that alone can be a challenge, because it almost imposes to some degree this incitement to do something about it. I don't necessarily feel like you have to put that pressure on yourself to act and respond in any way that's just not authentic and natural. You don't have to go overexerting yourself trying to, lay down the law or make a point or, build a wall, per se. Just take inventory of what you're feeling, how you're feeling, and around whom, doing what, and where, and adjust accordingly. It doesn't even need to be any broadcast or anybody's business or concern. It just may be a no thank you to that invitation for the holiday party, professionally, personally, or otherwise. It may be nah, I'm good on doing that caroling or whatever the thing may be. Your light is enough to illuminate your space. And of course, in this holiday season, there is the encouragement to share and to bring joy and peace and goodwill to all. And you can do that, but just make sure you're not shortchanging yourself and giving from a depleted state. This is a lot of energy to carry out into the world amongst some that are either not really invested in receiving it, or may even be triggered or intimidated by how bright you're shining. It's no shade, it's no love lost. Like I said, just make adjustments accordingly. But by God, please do not dim your light. Do not dim that source of vitality and vibrance and brilliance that is all that you need to power through first the rest of this year, and to power up for 2024. Because as I said, after this year, nothing, low key like Drake, right? Nothing will ever be the same, or nothing was the same. That's what you're going to be saying by next year in 2024. It's like, damn, nothing was ever the same again. Whether it be from 2023 or even back beyond then. We kind of been building up to this great moment of change and transition that everyone is experiencing, but no one is experiencing it the same, So where there's grace for you and how you get to proceed and produce and prosper throughout this year, and as we start the 2024 off strong, give grace for others to do the same in the respective space that's needed, so that everyone can do so productively. You know what I mean? It only matters how you protect yourself. You don't have to be anybody else's savior at this point in time. Just make sure you're not in the way of anybody else either. So yeah, here's this energy here with the Page of Swords, which is like an observance card, or it could be people looking and lurking. Who knows? In this season, it could be a little bit of both. People, for one, pardon me, I can't stop burping. For one, people looking at your light maybe from a distance, or as I said, you kind of becoming a spectacle, like Rudolph busting up in the holiday party, like, damn, you glowing. What the hell you been doing? Type of energy. And what does it do? But incites people to consider their harvest, like, well, damn, what's she doing? What do I need to do? Or what's she been doing that I ain't doing? Or what's he been up to that I need to figure out what's going on? You know what I mean? It could incite that in a I would say in a, what do you call it? In a very indifferent vibration. It doesn't have to be good or bad that would invoke. I mean, that's what the sun should do. That's what light should do. It should illuminate inspiration. It should make an impact. It should incite change, or enlightenment in general. So I guess I'm doubling down on just being aware of the impact and impression that you may make to strangers, friends, and foes alike. It could be any representation here with the Page of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles of those that find that you make an impression upon. But one thing you can't control is how that impression gets to play out, which is probably why I kind of went in a bit about being mindful of the light that you're emitting, even being mindful of the words that you're using, because sometimes we know we fire signs can be bold in our speech, and sometimes mean, especially Sagittarius, mean absolutely no harm, no foul, but just truth telling, just calling it how we see it, literally how we see it. And sometimes you're not completely aware in real time, present moment, of the impact that you're making with your words. That's even more impressionable than your energy. But of course, as I said, and that's the naivete, right? Of course, your energy itself is going to do what it does without you trying to resist it one way or another. Like if you just show up in a place, and this is not exclusive to fire signs, of course, but I'm speaking about it because we're all being called to harness this energy. And I don't think we cannot if we try, but I guess you could resist it if you try, but why would you want to? Like, who does that? And who will want to resist more confidence, more curiosity, more ambition, more drive, even if you don't want to do nothing with it, just the sheer enthusiasm and energetic intensity, boost of sorts is productive in some way, shape, or form. But I guess it depends on who we're talking to. Some may see it as an investment that yields a great return, and some might see it as a disappointment or an infraction on their cash crop, what they like to harvest and what they like to yield. So I guess in general, what stands alone is you. And however you see it, one way or the other, is what matters most. But this is the respective response and perhaps reaction to you being a firework to some degree. All right. Because usually like the Page of Swords is external observance. I would say again though, I feel guided to say this, like, because I'm talking about a bit of the high and low of that observance and the effect of your energy. Be careful. Well, I kind of have said that, but I feel inside to say it again, because some people are watching for an opportunity to yield some benefit from that energy. That's also what I'm getting here. Like they may be disappointed with their harvest and they're watching patiently and I wouldn't even say patiently, I'll say eagerly, for an opportunity to benefit from the energy that you're projecting. And again, with that potential for I don't want to say naivete because it's not that in general, but to be a little bit mildly unaware of what you're given, let alone of what value it may have to others. You may tend to give a little bit more, especially in the season, which kind of compels us to do so anyway, right? You may be inclined to give a little bit more than what is necessary or what is justified. So keep a good balance there, because some people that are watching and observing are doing so with great inspiration, and that's great. That's wonderful. We are here to inspire one another. Even you being an inspiration to someone to change or shift or see something differently is a win for you, because it reaffirms your own confidence and your inspiration to keep going and doing whatever you're doing. So it's fair exchange. But then there are some people that are dissatisfied with their harvest, and they want to find a way to, this is a plentiful, endless prosperity and productivity with the sun. Vitality on a beam, you know what I mean, on 1,000, as a matter of fact. This is somebody that literally needs your sunlight, or at least thinks they do. There's that, to make their crops grow. They don't feel like, they have the light to expel on their own, and can either become codependent or I should just say dependent on your vitality, whether it be on in with your agreement to give, or without it, literally looking for an opportunity to take whatever they can. So just be mindful, be careful. For some, 'tis a season for giving, and some is the season for taking. And look, there's the Ten of Pentacles with too much going on, but there's the Five of Wands, which is competition, confusion, chaos, and I'm gonna see what this is, but it's a little janky. Yeah, look at that, dissatisfaction with self or with the present moment. Literally, I'm not gonna take that, but here's the Two of Swords, which is a posture of protection, I would say, in this regard, honestly. But it could also feel like, you feeling like you're at an impasse, and here's those nostalgic expressions of relation, where it could be family, could be friends. With Mercury retrograde, it could be regeneration of old relationships, or the presentation of a regeneration, or the proposition, I should say, of a regeneration. Or like I said, just family and friends coming together in a way that you don't typically have the time to do so, or just don't socialize that way year round. And this is like that season of the coming together, where you almost feel, as I said before, inclined to show up for Christmas, inclined to go to grandma's house, or inclined to invite people over if you're usually the host. Maybe this year you don't want to do that. Maybe you don't feel like cleaning the whole house and, having to clean up after dinner. Maybe you want to just stay home and relax and have your own little intimate celebration. Maybe you don't want to go to the office holiday party, but you feel kind of like guilty not going, because you're going to be talked about if you're the only one missing, but it's just something in you that's like, oh, I'm just not down for it. This is like the pull on the heartstrings to almost make you feel like to incite an emotional attachment. That's what it is, like an emotional attachment. Now, it could be a good thing, but it could be, the Six of Cups in itself is not always a foul card. To me, just like the Seven of Pentacles, which these have been coming up a lot lately as well in the same spreads, it can be a this or that. It could be the high or the low, even without it being in reverse, for me and how I read it. Because the Six of Cups could be a reemergence of a cycle or an attachment that's not altogether prosperous or productive. Like I said, you just going along to get along, to be with the family because there's an expectation for you to do so, but there's really no emotional fulfillment for you to do so. Or that when you go over there, it's going to be the same old thing. Uncle so-and-so going to get drunk and start talking out the side of his neck, and auntie so-and-so's going to get agitated and they going to start fighting, and cousin what's his name is going to be impulsive and bring a whole his attitude's going to be out of line, or just uncomfortable, and it just causes for a tense day, and to the point where you're just like, when can I get the hell out of here? I mean, hopefully that's not your situation, but it could be something greater. It could be something even more, even less intense, where it's just like, no, I just want to be by myself. I just want to be in my own space. I want to be in my own energy. It's no slight. I love the family. I love the tradition. This is what that definitely represents: tradition. It could be past life cycles, past experiences. I love the tradition of the holiday, but maybe I want to start my own this year. Maybe I want to just do nothing. How about that? There's that, and you have the right. Again, as I said, it's more important that you kind of, family ain't gonna like it. That's what I'm getting from my throat. From my throat trying to seize up on me. They may not appreciate your perspective, literally, with the swords cards. Let me get some water, goodness. And they're not going to appreciate it, because everybody knows how their family is and what the expectations are, whether you succumb to them or not, which may be the cause for the resistance to decision making right now. But I would encourage that if there is what do I call it, if there is such a stress of indecision, or struggle to make a choice, that in itself kind of is the answer, because anything that you truly want to do should give you the vitality of, say, the sun, whether it's with emotional attachment or not. Even if all the things that I said are going to happen at Christmas dinner, but you still want to be there. There's no place you'd rather be, then that's the decision for you. But if it causes a, what do we call it? Like a tug of war in your spirit, like not a contrast, but a contention, or, if it causes chaos in your own spirit, i.e. that Five of Wands, where you're in competition with your own settlement and groundedness, that's kind of the answer for you. That really kind of just makes the decision for you. And really it is no shade, because what you have to understand is that what others may not understand, particularly if you're watching this video and maybe you don't come from a so-called spiritual family, or you have a more religious roots like I do, where it's really hard to express the celestial and the cosmic reference and motivations for how you operate that means something to you, like your own philosophies, right? This is all ninth house energy. Your own personal philosophies may be hard to express and convey in a way that's understandable to those that don't agree or just don't align, right? But what's to be sacrificed, really? Like I was saying, you have to understand that this particular ending of the year is a little bit different. Well, it's a lot of bit different for more reasons than I even touched on in the moon message, because there are transits in place that, as I said, they're setting us up for fireworks, for a big shebang, probably before the end of this year, but certainly, like I said, by 2024, you're going to look back and be like, you're going to feel unrecognizable to some degree. Your life and the life you're living and your surroundings are going to feel completely new, maybe even foreign to you. So with the transits that I have spoken about, the intensities of those fire energies and Neptune and Pisces, and things that once used to kind of be fantastical, especially when Neptune was retro, you could kind of glaze over, the energy about the truth of the matter of your life experiences. With, it was different, but now it's like there is no illusion anymore. Neptune is direct in Pisces, and its home sign, and there's a synergy there for truth of an expansive magnitude powered by of an emotional magnitude, first of all, and potentially even a depth, but with Pisces, even like a far outness about it, where you almost feel like an alien. You almost feel like you might even feel foreign to yourself as you've known yourself, let alone, as I said, this light of how you're projecting yourself. Whereas the family or friends are used to experiencing you another way, that expression may not even exist anymore, given the evolution that has taken place. So that personal experience then coinciding with others' personal experience, of which some may not even be realizing or willing to acknowledge the experiences that they're having, and your enlightenment of who you've been and how you've been and what you've been, perhaps who everyone else has been and where you've been all this time. It's an intense vibration. You have to allow yourself the I like how that almost popped out, but success is on the horizon for sure. Look, and here's the competition again, though. Even amidst that, but where are you in it? It went back in? But that would have been perfect to have those two out, because this is the competition and chaos and confusion that you're used to. But now you're sitting in a Six of Wands energy, kind of above the fray. And it doesn't mean that you're better than anybody, but it just means that your perspective has been raised a bit beyond what the norm may have been. And some may be on that level with you for sure, or on their way, whatever the case may be, but it doesn't, it can't trump what's needed for you to maintain that vibration, because it's quite easy. Just one Christmas dinner, one holiday party, and you could be drawn into this vibration here, in conflict even with yourself, of how you're expelling energy against, or in contrast or competition with who you desire, how you've been incited to expel energy, in competition with who and how you desire to expel that energy, if that makes sense. Meaning, I keep using the example of holiday parties, so there's no shade to anyone or anything, and no projection of any of this either, because hopefully you're excited to be with your family and enjoy the holiday season. But I'm just speaking to those that feel the tension of the obligation that isn't in alignment with the spiritual sensation. Again, don't be in shame or guilt about that, because the vibration that is happening out of the order of and out of our control is, however, very impactful and impressionable to our senses. And given the way the realm is set up, there's usually far more competition of those that don't even know that they're fighting against themselves, and perhaps even the cosmic order, and perhaps that expression of it in a physical form, than there are those that are sitting in that Six of Wands position, having accepted the enlightenment of their own self-discoveries, and even being able to see the big picture. It's like somebody that is no shade to family and friends as they are, and you let them be, and you love them for as they are and where they are, because you know what journey it is to get to a place of self-awareness and self-assuredness, especially in this realm where this is the energy projected. Conflict and confusion fueled by nostalgic cycles of codependency to keep you in a position of resistance and untrust and a lack of trust for yourself to make empowered decisions, to kind of make you feel like you always have to be subservient to this loop of dissatisfaction to some degree, or misalignment, I will say, at least, So again, with that Six of Wands energy, you kind of have to accept the position that you're in. And if you so choose to invest your energy and time in environments that persist to maintain this frequency, you just know what you're getting yourself into. You just know, like, and maybe you do so joyfully, and you're that powerful and strong because it is wand energy, and you're that resilient that you can be unscathed, but maybe you're not. And maybe that's the disruption in your spirit, kind of trying to protect you from making yourself vulnerable to a force that might set you back or just disrupt where you are in this present moment. And like I said, we all, even this, needs this energy to be conserved and preserved to make these great leaps of almost said leaps of faith, but and for some it may manifest that way, but these great leaps of change and shifts with the evolution of the world as it's going, so that we can match the vibration of transition and transformation that the cosmic order is calling for. Because as I've said before, life is changing, and you mess around, you'll look around and see everything changing but you, and that's a scary thought. Yeah, look at this, hangman, and find yourself hung up on this tree still trying to figure it out when you've been given all the information you need, literally all the vitality, all the illumination, all the enlightenment, all the revelation. It's like, it's just now on you as to how you're going to observe it and invest it. What you perceive it to be with the Page of Pentacles, and then how you're going to harvest that seed of information. You can act like you don't know with the hangman if you want to, but what's already been given is already accounted for in spirit and in truth. Yeah, look at this. And you can act like you don't know, but now it's up to you to manage your energy and your vitality as it's been and as it's being upgraded, because this is a continuous process, that I feel we're just beginning, quite honestly. But the impact, because when I'm hearing this fireworks and light up, I feel like the impact is going to be so intense, because it's like coming out of the dark ages. That's what I hear, whether it be energetically, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, relationally, familially, societally, socially. I don't know, any Lee you can kind of think of. That, like I said, there's been a haze over our understanding and our enlightenment. It's like that Seven of Cups card, where you can't quite see through the fog to get the full picture. And now you're getting the full picture, and you're getting it from a bird's eye view with Sagittarius, Jupiter energy helping you, and not to mention Jupiter being even more expansive. So it's like, it will be undeniable, the engagement of truth that you are either embarking upon now or about to. So that's why it's probably going to be like an initial hit, you know what I mean? Or like I said, like fireworks happening in the freaking middle of December, not even middle, the beginning of December, for no apparent reason, no warning, no, you know what I mean? It's like, where is that coming from and why? Like, I don't know, maybe somebody was having a celebration of their own somewhere across town or across the city. I don't know, but it was just strange to me. And that's how this energy is going to hit. Yet, and like I said, and the other aspect of it, it was perfect to me because it was my birthday. So of course, why not? Why wouldn't there be fireworks? So there's that energy too. It's like, Spirit loves you. You've proven yourself to be worthy of these upgrades. You've been working for it. We've been so used to working for it that we almost forgot to actually believe for the manifestation. You've been believing for it. You've been praying for it. You've been proclaiming it, affirming it. And now it's like, whoa, really? And like I said, with Jupiter, it's going to be bigger than expected. I've been saying that a lot. So the impact is going to be that much more intense and powerful, which is why it may be a shock to your senses, even more reason for you to protect your energy and temper your vibration. But it also may be a shock to those that are experiencing it and were not even in preparation for it, or maybe didn't even ask for it. How about that? Let alone for you to come in beaming from ear to ear, perhaps even projecting to them what they may not be experiencing in real time. You know what I mean? So you got to consider the contrast all around. But no matter what, it's your responsibility now. It, like I said, if you decide to invest your energy, however way, wherever way, with whomever, this is your energy to manage now. You can't blame them. Can't blame it on source. Can't blame it on spirit. You can't even blame it on the moon, baby. What's that song? You've been channeling energy, sending it back to me. She said something about, oh yeah, you know it's fine. I can't even hear the line, but something about blaming it on the moon. Oh, you know that song with Lucky Day and who's that? Yeba? Is that Yeba? I forget. I think that's her name. Yeah, but please forgive me if it isn't. But the white looking girl, I don't know if she's actually white, but she sure appears to be, and her voice is amazing. I love anything that she sings pretty much, so it's crazy that I'm not 100% sure that that's her. But she says, oh wait, is it that song? Yeah, it's that she pretty much says like you've been pretty much blaming your energy on the moon, you know, and that's someone that is enlightened to know the cosmic order and the transits of source and still wants to almost be codependent on that energy itself. Like, no, it's still within our own responsibility and accountability to raise our vibration and frequencies to be in alignment with the cosmic transit, but to manage it accordingly. And that means managing ourselves, not controlling anyone else or any other environment, but managing the effects of that for ourselves so that we can be most protective and most prosperously projective too, like the sun. You know, if you know you're particularly moody when a certain transit is in alignment with your chart or the aspects of your cosmic makeup, then you would want to be intentional about the spaces that you're in to not inflict that energy on anyone else. Well, like it's a full moon, or it's a this, it's a that. You know, like no, we are all responsible for the energy that we project, because we're certainly going to be responsible for how it comes back, and that's the energy here too. It's just cyclical. It's infinite here. You know, what you're putting out, what you're sowing, is what you can have an expectation for. Not everybody lives by that principle intentionally. That was the moon card too, by the way. However, if you do, and particularly you're watching me, so you probably do, like, yeah, look, this is the Hermit card and I'm done. This is the Hermit card. You may want to stay in the house. Like, you may want to at least go within and allow this energy to finish strong. And this is absolutely Sagittarius vibes, and this is Virgo right here with the Hermit card. Strong energy. You know, I don't have a lot of Virgo energy, so sometimes I can be a bit resistant to it, or I have been, not so much anymore, but I have been a bit resistant to it because it's like, you know, the details and it's the big picture versus the small picture between Jupiter, between Sagittarius and Virgo. You know, they're very much so about the details, the facts, the figures, every little particular practice, doing a thing over and over again, very grounded energy, whereas Temperance, not Temperance itself, but particularly Sagittarian energy, fiery energy, is like fly by night, wanting to, jump off into this project and then over here into that. And maybe not even particularly being well versed in any of it. Sometimes I'm a bit better with that now. But just being driven by ambition, which a lot of times for fire signs works for you if it should come from. It does, but it doesn't work for everybody. So here's this energy here with the balance, literally the alchemization of that energetic flow, where sometimes and I spoke about this in the moon message, it's like I said, particularly for fire signs, you don't really want to hear somebody tell you to harness your energy into planning. You know what I mean? Like, what? If I'm excited, I'm ready to do it. Forget a plan. I don't want to read no instructions. I don't want to hear the tutorial. I just want to do it. I'll figure it out along the way. Whatever mistakes I'll make, I'll go back and I'll readjust, or leave it behind, low vibration, right? But this is the temperance of the balance of that energy, where, as I said, sometimes you need to take a seat, plan your mode of action, or your plan. You make a plan for your attack. Strategize your plan of attack. Know exactly what you're up against, what you're capable of, what the risk and rewards are, even. And this could be expressive on any level, because, as I've said, we're coming to the end of the year where we either want to, like, depending on who you are, you want to bring closure to everything that's outstanding, and you want to get ready for something new. Like, you want to leave this year behind completely closed and sewn up, settled up, not think about anything to move forward. But that may not be realistic for the time that we're in, the season that we're in, or the cosmic order as it is. Yes, we are absolutely moving forward into a new year, new you, in a magnitude that we probably never seen before. But some of that energy may transfer over, and it may not be the timing in this moment to try to bring closure to something that needs to carry over with you, with more information, with a different vibration of energy, with a different focus, because you're not in an attack mode. You're just, you're in flow, not feeling the obligation to get something done because you feel like now's the time, now or never. But you've given the opportunity, particularly even for Mercury, to get back into alignment. Not to say you have to wait for this, because I'll speak about that later, because I think this retrograde is going to be different. I feel like there's going to call into play more care and consideration for whatever you're committing to, contractually or otherwise, or spiritually, which can be one and the same, right? But I don't feel like it has to be a dead stop per se, but just keeping in mind the reality of the transit in play is that planet's going to be retrograding through Capricorn and then back into Sagittarius, thankfully, with brighter optimism, until the very 1st of January. So you won't even, and then, there's a post shadow phase after that. So you won't completely have the support uninhibited of that planet of intelligence and processing information and clear communication and fluid traveling and transit and things of that nature. So definitely double check your holiday plans for travel and things of that sort. All of that stuff is still admissible, but it doesn't mean that you have to live in fear through it. But just considering that you have to kind of temper your ambition with your reservation or your conservation of that energy. There needs to be so that you don't burn yourself out in frustration nonetheless, if anything, because you want to forge ahead or close something up that just doesn't seem to be giving way. That's how you bring more burden on yourself than what's necessary, more than you can bear, right? Because you're trying to push an agenda that's not in alignment to happen at this time. So I would say, set as I said in the moon message, take those moments of time, those moments of opportunity to go within, between you and your supreme self, and the energetic forces that are here to assist you, to work with you, to kind of help you navigate your path and your plan wisely, to create one first and foremost, but then also to discern what of it you can focus on in the most present time. And where there's resistance, be tempered, allow it to be, knowing that a delay is not necessarily a denial. And, perhaps you may get over the threshold in January 1, and it could be that what you've been trying to push ahead and finish up may be altogether released and obsolete for wherever it is you're going. There's that too with this transit, is that what you thought you were holding on to as a necessity or that had absolute value may not be the case. And that new philosophy of life moving forward may be releasing and eliminating some of the baggage that you've been holding on to along the way for comfort, and maybe even through curiosity, and complacency. You're getting ready for a makeover of sorts that is beyond what you've ever experienced. So it's most important that you temper your energy through this transition and this transformation, to be just as open to the enthusiasm and ambition of doing something powerful, whether it be closing something old or starting something new, as you are to scrapping some things altogether and finding yourself on a completely new path altogether, and it perhaps even in a whole nother place where what you thought was what doesn't even matter anymore. It really calls for an open heart, an open posture, and a light spirit, so you can make the most with the Sun card out of your manifestations. You can be prosperous beyond measure, productive beyond resistance, to really bring things to life, illuminate the best of what spirit would have for you. And that's the spirit of you, of course, in co-creation with whatever supreme source or force that you submit to or align with. That's the energy here with temperance, the balance of those two managing your expectations. Quite honestly, this is the material expression of it, and this is the spiritual expression of it. Didn't even really catch that until now. That's amazing. This is what you're doing here, just managing what's within your own rights and giving allowing yourself to be guided as to how that gets done, receiving the enlightenment and putting it into action. And then this is how the spirit meets you where you are to make the most of it. I think I spoke the other day that it can only do so much with what you give it. It's not like you can give the spirit trash and it can give you a treasure. You still have to be highly intentional about the energy that you're projecting, so that it can be used purposefully to forge the best outcome overall. That's the co-creativity of spirit and truth. Definitely here with the temperance card. So this is and then this is the magician. Oh my gosh, this is a great reading. Oh my God. Now this is like this is the material expression of this. This is also the material expression of this. The manifestation, literally taking the resources that you have and making the most of it. Not complaining, not getting angry, not getting frustrated. I mean, you may, we're human, right? And if you're fiery, there's definitely a probability of that when you want to keep going and doing, and your emotions are telling you to pull back, or your spirit is telling you, now right now, you're like, why not? But the magician card is definitely that physical, primal, material expression of manifestation. This is manifestation, this is alchemy. And this is, like I said, you doing the most with what you have, with no excuses, no complaints per se, at least not necessarily, this is someone that's going to manage their energy well, to do well with it. You're not going to say, well, I only have, or I don't have, or I still need, because any of that may be true, but it just means that what you do have, you do something with it, until the rest comes, which is undoubtedly coming, especially if you stay committed to doing the most with what you have on hand. And as I said, right, this is literally giving spirit the best energy. This couldn't be any better. Number one, okay, with the magician card, giving spirit the absolute best that you can, your best submission, surrender, sacrifice, if you see it that way, devotion, I would say, in the most productive sense of whatever work gets to be done, making a miracle with your hands, whereas from the outside looking in, it seems like, damn, how'd she do that type of thing? And for you, it's just like, I'm just trying to survive, you know what I mean? Just trying to keep it together, or whatever the case may be, or staying devoted and committed to the vision that I have and doing what I can with it. It's like when you can't necessarily, say you can't necessarily start selling the product but you're getting all your legal stuff together, or all of your website is ready to go, ready to launch. Your business plan is set in order. Maybe you don't have the startup capital, but you got everything else in place. That's the vibes, you know what I mean? And then here comes Spirit sending you what seems to be like a miracle of sorts, like the perfect business partner, or a gift of it, a gift of an investment, or a windfall of abundance where you can invest in yourself, or a new job opportunity, or some type of way that you're able to bridge that gap and fill that void that you weren't particularly able to do by your own hands, but with your intentions, you manifested it. That's true alchemy, doing the best and making the most of your intentions and your energetic force, and believing for the rest to be. All right, so that's the Magician card. Let's see what we got on the bottom. And here's the balance. That's the equal give and take with the Six. This is amazing. With the Six of Pentacles, everything fair, justified, harmonious. It's, like I said, you getting what you need and then being able to give out of what you've acquired to some degree, that continuous exchange of energy. Even the infinity sign here is that because you've been able to make miracles, make magic with your resources, it opens up a doorway for others to be empowered, enlightened, or enforced to do so as well, and Spirit could definitely get behind that reciprocation and that exchange and uplift everyone. If we all had the energy to do that, can you imagine the type of world that we live in right now? We're on our way. Oh, we're on our way. It may not look great before it gets better, but it's most certainly going to get better. And this is the energy of ascension that we are coming to. And those that aren't with it, then, they'll have the option to stand outside and watch, or, to live their own reality. But this is going to become more prevalent. I decree and declare it, that we help each other. And that is the energy that is going to persist and combust, I would even say. And it may start just small, with small inspirations, might just start with you, might just start with me, in the small ways that seem small anyway, that we're able to impact change and inspire change. And like I said, because we've been able to magnify those opportunities, empower ourselves to do more, we have more at hand to give, and more opportunities to create for others to do the same. Maybe even just the inspiration alone is reciprocation, being that light, as a matter of fact, and it being a productive force and source to those that want to be vitalized by it. Forget those that don't, because they don't really matter. Those that don't see it as a positive investment, or intaken or exerted, that's their own burden to bear. And we pray for grace for it and transformation all alike, so that they can be returned to the light, to be revitalized in their own time and energy. But for those of us that have a mind to expel that energy, and for those that are willing and able to receive it, there's certainly a bright future ahead for all of us. I truly believe that. I stand on that. Indeed. So again, take your time, because it's a process, and it's an unveiling and unfolding that cannot be rushed. Trust me, I know the frustration of wanting something now, or wanting it faster than it seems to be happening, for sure. But it's all good right now, and it'll be even better than we could have ever expected or anticipated in the end. In the end, or the new beginning, or whatever that projects itself to be, whatever possibilities are projected to be. All right. So have a wonderful Monday. Have a great new moon in Sagittarius. Don't forget those affirmations. Take your little spiritual bath or shower. Not little, right? Cleanse your aura, light a candle, sage your house, Palo Santo. Definitely empower yourself with positive encouragement, whether it be written or just speak life into yourself day to day. Confront every negative vibration with something positively affirming, and listen to your emotional intelligence. I mean, if you're not going to listen to you and trust you, then who will? Honestly. Period. All right, so have a great Monday, a strong start to this week, and I'll see you or I'll talk to you tomorrow. And until then, as always, I'll leave you with peace.